Capricorn doesn't go cold because they stopped caring. They go cold because they care too much. And the strange part is that if you survive that distance, if you stay steady when they pull back, you might become the most important person in their life. Capricorn love follows a pattern most people completely misunderstand, because it doesn't begin with fireworks or grand emotional displays. It begins with observation. Before Capricorn truly lets themselves fall in love, they watch. They study the way you move through life, your consistency, your patience, your reliability. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, the planet of time, discipline, and life lessons. That influence shapes the way they approach the heart. They don't rush emotional trust. They measure it slowly and carefully. While other signs might be swept away by excitement or chemistry, Capricorn is asking deeper questions. Can this person be trusted with my future? Can they stand beside me when life becomes difficult? Can they handle the weight of loyalty that Capricorn love carries? This is why Capricorn connections often feel calm at the beginning, even a little reserved. It isn't because the interest isn't there. It is because Capricorn doesn't allow themselves to invest emotionally until they see stability in the other person. They want to see how you respond to everyday reality, not just romantic moments. They notice how you handle stress, how you treat people, how you show up when things aren't easy. To Capricorn, love isn't something you prove with words. It's something you prove with consistency. Then something confusing happens. Just when the connection begins to deepen, just when you start to feel closer to them, Capricorn often pulls back. Messages become shorter. Their attention shifts toward work or responsibilities. Emotionally, they become quieter. To someone on the receiving end, it can feel like the warmth suddenly disappeared, but the truth is very different. Capricorn often pulls back at the exact moment they start to care the most. Maybe you spent an incredible weekend together. Everything felt natural and easy. You left feeling like the connection had finally turned a corner. Then the next day, their messages are short. Their energy feels distant. It feels like something changed. But it didn't. That moment simply scared them. Because when Capricorn realizes their feelings are becoming real, something protective switches on inside them. Many Capricorns have learned the hard way that vulnerability given too quickly can lead to deep disappointment. So when emotions start to grow, they instinctively create space. This is where the silent test begins. Capricorn doesn't test people with drama. They test them with distance. They step back and watch what happens next. Do you panic when they pull away? Do you demand reassurance? Do you respect their space and remain steady? They are observing your response very carefully, because it tells them everything they need to know about the future of the relationship. This is what many people eventually recognize as the Saturn Test. If you've ever experienced this moment with a Capricorn, type Saturn Test in the comments. Because if you recognize that pattern, you've probably already been through it. The Saturn Test isn't about pushing people away. It's about finding out who stays grounded when the emotional intensity fades. And here's the important part most people miss. If a Capricorn pulls back, the worst thing you can do is chase or panic. And the second worst thing you can do is suddenly go cold yourself. What Capricorn is looking for is steadiness. Someone who can remain calm, patient, and consistent. Someone who understands that love doesn't have to be loud to be real. When Capricorn sees that kind of stability, something begins to shift inside them. The walls they built to protect themselves slowly start to soften. The distance fades. And the person who once seemed emotionally guarded becomes one of the most loyal partners in the zodiac. Because Capricorn doesn't love with fireworks. They love with loyalty. They love with protection. They love with actions that show up day after day, year after year. Where some signs burn brightly and disappear, Capricorn builds something that lasts. They remember the small details about your life. They show up when things go wrong. They protect the future you're building together. And they do it quietly, without needing constant attention or praise. That's why Capricorn relationships often grow stronger with time. What begins cautiously can become one of the most stable and dependable bonds in the zodiac. Capricorn doesn't need constant excitement to stay committed. They need respect, trust, and a partner who understands that loyalty is their deepest language of love. So, when a Capricorn goes cold, it doesn't always mean they're losing interest. Sometimes it means they're deciding whether the connection is strong enough to trust. And if you can stay steady during that moment, you might find yourself on the other side of the Capricorn wall. A place very few people are ever allowed to reach. Because once a Capricorn truly lets someone into their heart, they rarely let them go. The real question isn't whether Capricorn can love deeply. They absolutely can. The real question is whether someone can stay steady long enough for Capricorn to believe that love is safe. If this resonated with you, tell me in the comments. Are you a Capricorn, or have you loved one? And if you've ever experienced that moment where a Capricorn seemed to go cold before opening up again, type Saturn Test below. And if you enjoy astrology that explains the deeper patterns behind relationships, subscribe and stay in this space. Because next we re-exploring Leo love psychology and the emotional pattern almost nobody talks about.